All right, so this is example number 1 right here that you see on the board. This is example number 1, okay? All right, so you've got this. This is called the divisor, x squared minus 3x plus 5, right? And this is what you're dividing into, right? Okay, 3x to the 4th minus 5x cubed. Now, you see the note on the, you see what the note says? That every term has to be represented, right? So you see, I got a 4th power, I got a 3rd power, but there's no 2nd power. So what do I have to put there? 0x squared, right? And you learned this earlier when we did synthetic substitution. Okay, and then I got 4x and I got minus 6. Okay, so everybody set your paper up. So we're ready to do this. I'm going to go really, really slow to learn this. Once you see one of these, so you're going to understand it. It's not that hard to do, but it's just a lot of work to have to do. Okay, so has everybody set up? Everybody ready to go? Everybody ready to go? Okay. All right, now what? Now, everybody listen, watch. What do I have to do? Okay, so here's what you do. X squared times what equals 3x to the 4th? 3x squared. You're going to write down 3x squared. That's the first thing you do. Okay, now, what did you do when you did this? Okay, what did you do? What's the next step? You multiply, right. So now you multiply. Okay, so 3x squared times x squared is how much? 3x to the 4th. There we go. Okay, 3x squared times negative 3x is how much? Negative 9x cubed. Negative 9x cubed. Okay, now let me, you see how I'm lining up the x cubes with the x cubes? I line them up, the same terms I line up with each other, to the same powers. Okay. All right, now 3x squared times positive 5 is how much? 15x squared. Positive 15x squared. Very good, that's correct. Okay, so now I multiplied it out. Okay, now what's the next thing I have to do? Now you subtract, right? Just like you did in elementary school, right? Now you subtract these. Okay? Okay, so 3x to the 4th minus 3x to the 4th, how much do you get? You get 0, right? There's a 0 there, right? Or you just don't put anything down. They cancel. Okay, negative 5x to the 3rd minus negative 9x to the 3rd. It's how much? 4x to the 3rd. Very good. It becomes positive 4x to the 3rd. Okay. All right. Now, 0x squared minus 15x squared becomes how much? Negative 15x squared. Very good. It's correct. Negative 15x squared. Okay. Okay, now what we're going to do with these two things over here? You bring them down, right, just like you did in elementary school. Now you bring these down. So it becomes positive 4x and negative 6. Okay, so that's the first one. Okay, now you do the same thing over again. Okay, so here we go. X squared times what is 4x cubed? 4x. Okay, very good. So positive 4x. Okay, what do you do next? Multiply. Okay, so 4x times x squared is how much? 4x cubed. Good. 4x times negative 3x is how much? Negative 12x squared. 4x times 5 is how much? Positive 20x. Positive 20x. You're right. Okay, what do you do next? You subtract. You subtract. On your line, you subtract. Okay, so how much is 4x cubed minus 4x cubed? 0. How much is negative 15x squared minus negative 12x squared? Negative 3x squared is right. Negative 3x squared. Okay, how much is 4x minus 20x? Negative 16x. Negative 16x is right. Okay. Okay, now what do you do with the negative 6? You bring it all down. So bring it all down. Negative 6. Okay. Okay, now we're ready for the next one. Let me pull this up a little bit. Okay, so x squared times what is negative 3x squared? Negative 3, good job. Negative 3 now you write down. Okay, now what do? You turn around and you multiply. Okay, so negative 3 times x squared, negative 3x squared. Right. Negative 3 times negative 3x, 9x, positive 9x. Negative 3 times positive 5, negative 15 is right. Okay, all right, what do you do next? You subtract again. So draw your line and you're going to subtract. Okay? All right, so negative 3x squared minus negative 3x squared, what happens? They cancel. 0. Good. Okay, negative 16x minus 9x. Negative 25x is right. Negative 25x. Okay, negative 6 minus negative 15. Okay, positive or negative? Positive 9. Positive 9 is right. Okay, good. Positive 9. Okay? I know, I told you that. I told you it's really involved. You can do this, so it's not that hard. You said, all right, now, here goes the next part. Okay, x squared times what is negative 25x? Exactly. You can't do that. Which means, that's exactly right. Which means this is the remainder. Very good. That's exactly right. Which means that's the remainder. Okay? Everybody good? All right, so now here's the thing though. What you don't do is this. You don't put, like elementary school, oh, let's put R. That's gay. We don't do that. That's elementary school. Okay? Okay, we don't do that. All right, so here's how you do this as a mature mathematician thing. Here's how you do this, okay? So now what you do is you always put down a plus sign next. Always put a plus. Why? Because that's it. So you'll see it in a second. Okay? All right, now what do you write down? You write down negative 25x plus 9, okay, over the divisor, x squared minus 3x plus 5. Okay? And that's the answer then. I know, that's the thing. It's really involved. Okay? Okay, all right. Well, because here's the thing. Okay? Okay, all right. So this is what you write as the answer. This whole thing right here is your answer. This whole thing. Okay? I know, and that's what I'm telling you. You see now how hard this test is going to become. That's why this is the challenge that you get, because you guys are so primed and set to get through this kind of week. So what I told you is I said, that's what you are going to do. And you guys, everybody has done everything correctly, okay? Everybody's looking really sweet and good in this class, right? You just got to get through this last test. And that's it's the hardest of the hard to get through this test. It's not an easy test. So you got to understand how to do long division, because this puts people under the, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm messed up.
One little mistake. Negative 7 minus negative 2.
Who has time to make this kind of math? This is ridiculous. Did I do it right?
You did. Yeah.